Okay, so we often talk about money in politics.
Right.
Big money. And it's easy to look at someone like, say, Robert Mercer.
Hmm.
Huge donations backing people like Trump, Ted Cruz.
Right.
And you think, okay, money buys influence. That's the story.
Mm-hmm. Seems straightforward.
But today, we're going to dive a bit deeper because his impact, it really goes way beyond just the checks he wrote. It suggests maybe a whole new kind of power.
Yeah, and the real starting point here, the foundation, is Mercer's background. He came from Renaissance Technologies.
On tech, yeah.
Exactly. And this is not just some hedge fund. It's famous for being packed with, like, IBM computer scientists, mathematicians, serious algorithm experts, the quants, precisely. And it's run as this black box fund, basically. Their methods are super secret, incredibly complex, but the results, they consistently blew everyone else away. Their Medallion Fund, which is basically this hyper-successful data machine for investing, it pulled in something like 35% returns year after year for decades. Made absolute fortunes for these, as the source calls them, genius math people.
Okay, but here's where it gets really weird, right? The founder of Rentech, James Simons, the guy who actually hired Mercer,
Yeah.
he funds Hillary Clinton. Meanwhile, Mercer's funding Trump and Cruz. It looked like this perfect left and right false paradigm.
Exactly. It's a puzzle.
So how does the source explain that? Two guys from the same, like, data-driven world on totally opposite political sides. It really suggests something else is going on, something more fundamental than just money.
And that something, according to the material we're looking at, is advanced data analytics.
Ah.
So that's the mission for this deep dive. We're going to explore exactly how this really sophisticated data-first approach is, well, shaping elections, maybe even influencing how society behaves, altering our perception of reality itself.
Using the source material as our guide.
Absolutely, because this isn't just politics anymore. It's really about how information, controlling information, has become the ultimate power. It decides who wins, what you believe, maybe even how you act day to day.
So let's follow that thread from Wall Street finance to, well, the digital battlefield. The most direct link for Mercer's data influence seems to be Cambridge Analytica, CA.
Right, CA, which was a spin-off from a British group, SCL Strategic Communications Laboratory.
And the source makes a really key point here. It says it's not just how much money Mercer spent, but the kind of influence he got through data. It's described as something you couldn't buy normally.
Yeah, like a totally different kind of asset, beyond just cash.
Suggesting a new form of power.
And the scale, the method they used, it's pretty mind-blowing, according to the source. SCL, Cambridge Analytica, they claim to have like 4,000, maybe 5,000 data points on every single person.
Every person.
Well, they claim they modeled the personality of every adult in the U.S. That's what, 230 million people?
Wow.
Through what they called behavioral micro-targeting and psychographic analysis. Basically, they gather up everything, your online clicks, public records, demographics, shopping habits, all of it. And they build this incredibly detailed personality profile. Micro-shot personality assessment, as the source puts it, for everyone they could track.
That sounds intense.
Yeah.
And the source says their efficiency is almost, like, chilling. It compares it to detective work, but backwards.
Yeah, like Columbo or Sherlock Holmes in reverse. They start with the conclusion, the outcome they want, and then they work backwards to set the conditions to make it happen. Using your profile, they feed you personalized ads, specific talking points, all based on trends they see you following or things you've liked or said or supported online.
So it's predicting and then nudging behavior.
Exactly. And think about what that means for politics. Politicians can now, theoretically, tell different groups completely different things.
Tailored messages.
With incredible precision, which, the source argues, leads to candidates maybe being, well, less than genuine. Because it becomes political suicide not to echo the points that people want to hear.
Authenticity just goes out the window. If you're just reflecting back what the data says people want.
It becomes strategically risky, yeah.
And this isn't just politics, is it? The source is clear. These firms openly admit they collect credit card data.
Facebook data, supermarket loyalty cards.
All of it gets poured into these complex models. The source calls it an unstoppable monster. And it mentions their quantum artificial intelligence manner of looking at data. What does that mean exactly?
It suggests they're using methods, possibly AI-driven, that process information with such speed and complexity, finding patterns humans just couldn't see. It's outpacing human thinking very quickly, like seeing connections we can't even imagine.
Okay, that's unsettling.
And what really jumped out at me from the material was this idea about the matrix. Why would mainstream media, even, Bank of America analysts, be talking about a 50% chance we definitely live in a matrix?
Yeah, that sounds like sci-fi talk.
Right. But connect it back. The source suggests maybe they know they're doing this, which essentially puts us into a matrix they are controlling.
They're creating the matrix.
By controlling the information flow. The old saying was, he who controls the oil. Now, the source implies he who controls the information has the real power. It's replaced oil, food, the old resources. It's all about the info architecture.
A matrix they control. That's a huge claim. What does that even mean for, our everyday lives? And it's not just private companies, right? The source mentions government agencies.
Yeah, it points to agencies like the NSA, CIA, reportedly using incredibly powerful tools, things like quantum computers.
Which can crunch data way beyond normal computers.
Exactly. And sentient world simulations, running these constantly updated, hyper-real digital models of society in real time by leveraging the web, basically. Sucking up data from all of us all the time, continuously analyzing, testing scenarios, maybe predicting outcomes.
Okay, wow. And SCL, the parent company of Cambridge Analytica.
They openly call themselves a global election management agency, and they admittedly are trying to change people's behavior. That's their stated goal.
Ow.
They collect everything about you, feed it into their models, and then basically tell you a tailored version of things shaped by your values, your fears, what you care about. It extends to things called SOPs.
Psychological operations.
Right. Campaigns designed to influence how you think and act, often without you even knowing you're being targeted, and even military disinformation campaigns.
The source gives some concrete examples too, doesn't it? Like in Latvia.
Yes. They apparently ran a campaign there trying to turn public opinion against Russia. They told Latvian voters, tailored to individuals based on their data, that Russia was responsible for their economic problems, their unemployment.
Wow. And the Trinidad example, that sounded almost comical.
Yeah. The source described how they gathered data on the local culture, figured out that a street graffiti campaign would be really effective with specific slogans.
So you had these data analysts pretending to be graffiti artists.
Guys in suits basically posing as graffiti artists. That's how the source puts it. Sounds absurd, but apparently highly effective based on their analysis.
And this is the same SCLCA group that the source links heavily to Brexit, the Trump campaign.
And a certain brand of outright politics, yeah. All reportedly fueled by Mercer's money and these sophisticated data analytics methods.
And it's not just politics. They use this for consumer stuff, too.
Absolutely. The same techniques. Figuring out what the trendy things are that millennials are doing, where people shop, what brands are the brands, trying to predict and maybe even drive consumer behavior.
The source claims they might know more about you potentially than you know about yourself.
That's the implication of having that much data and that much processing power, yeah.
So when you apply that level of insight back into politics, you get this, what did the source call it? A reverso picture.
Yeah, a reverso picture of what the population wants to hear. They know what buttons to push.
Which brings us back to that question of authenticity. If it's political suicide, not to just regurgitate what the data says people want, where does genuine belief or, actual leadership come from?
It's a serious challenge to the whole idea of representation, isn't it?
And if they know more about my patterns than I do, how independent are my choices, really?
Well, the source uses this striking analogy, the idea of a shadow version of yourself.
A shadow version.
Yeah. How do you compete against an opponent or just navigate a world where this entity knows all your strengths, all your weaknesses, maybe better than you do yourself? The source suggests society is becoming driven by a shadow image of itself. Like this weird computer AI black box is steering things.
Wow, driven by our own digital reflection.
It's a powerful image.
And it describes it like a game, too, like playing chess.
Right, like playing chess against a supercomputer that's already worked out the entire game board 17 moves ahead. They're using game theory and real-time data analysis constantly, feeding back to everyone exactly what they need to hear to achieve the desired outcome.
Always steps ahead. It sounds like they're choreographing the whole thing.
And a big part of that, according to the source, is the echo chamber effect. The internet, which could connect us, is instead used to silo people.
How so?
Well, they put everyone into these digital echo chambers. So one side will get pissed about some issue because they're fed their version, tailored to trigger them.
Right.
Meanwhile, the other side will go, yeah, exactly, he should do that because XYZ, they get their own tailored confirmation.
So it keeps groups fighting each other.
It seems designed to do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Prevents any kind of unified understanding or action, keeps everyone divided and angry at the other side.
It's like that old game of telephone, but digital. A digital mind game, the source calls it. Information gets filtered, warped, tailored. How can you really know what's going on?
Unless you were there, as the source says. Unless you saw the raw, unfiltered reality.
Yeah, but the irony is, nobody wants to hear that, though. We kind of like our bubbles.
Well, we really like our little digital gadgets, and we really love all the social media. It's convenient, it's engaging.
It's hard to think about giving that up, even if it means living in this constantly curated reality.
So just to wrap things up a bit, we've basically explored how these different pieces, billionaire money, super smart algorithms, massive data harvesting, they all come together and they create this system that can really profoundly shape what we believe and what we do, often without us even realizing it fully. This black box system, it's driving trends, political results by understanding and, well, steering us.
It's definitely a fundamental shift in where power lies.
Absolutely.
So it leaves you with a pretty big question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In a world where maybe every message you see is perfectly tailored to what someone thinks you want or what they want you to want, where society is being steered by this invisible data-driven game, and everything we do online is fed back to us as some controlled version of things. What does free will even mean anymore? How do you find authentic information? And maybe more importantly, will we ever get offered a truly real alternative again in this kind of environment?